money, make money, don't waste it. Everybody run me caked up, let me get a taste of it. Punch the clock every day, call it killing time. Slaving for what I make, let me hear you say. Being Franklin, still I need my Benjamins. Wake up and I'm chasing. What's up, everybody? My name is Chris Mohead, aka Rob Savage, aka Robbie Raindrop, and we're here again with another episode of 600 Seconds with HYLO Art. But before we get started, make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, man, because we got a very special guest in the building, an author who goes by the name of
Coach DUUB.
Y'all give it up for Coach DUUB. How you doing today, sir?
I'm doing well, bro.
It was great to have you here, man. Before we even get started, I already said you was an author, but we normally like to let the people know what it is that you do. You introduce yourself.
My name is Anthony Washington. I coach at Newberry College, track and field coach, assistant sprint coach, far as the program is concerned. And that's what I do full time. Other than that, an author.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Where you come from?
I'm from Chester, Pennsylvania originally. Moved to Jersey in 1982, I believe. And I left Jersey in I want to say 1994, and moved back to Chester, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. How did you? We're gonna focus on the author side of it.
Sure.
What made you want to write a book?
I actually wrote the book back in 2015. And when I wrote the book, you know how you're going through a midlife crisis. You want to see, like, okay, am I doing right by my life and everything like that? And so when I wrote the book back in 2015, I was like upset. So I wrote the book in 2 weeks. Yeah.
It just flowed.
It was just flowing, man. Every day I was writing for like 2 hours, And I would take the time, and once I started writing, I just couldn't stop. And what happened was my mom, I was approached about this book, this project, and the lady said, we wanted to be one of 30 authors. And would you be willing to do it? I said, well, Mom, I don't know which story I want to use. She said, use the story that when you was in high school, and use that, and that's how this project came about.
Wow. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Do you have any literary influences?
No.
You just kind of just did it your own.
I always knew that I wanted to do it, to write my story. My grandmother was a poet. She's a published poet, and she had done certain things. She always tried to get me to write. My sister's a writer. She's an education writer in school. So she has, in the education department, she does the English department. So that's what she does. Mm-hmm. Me, I just wanted to talk about, instead of writing it, I wanted really more talk about it.
Okay, talk to us a little bit about the structure of the book, The Heart of a Black Man, and why was that? Why is it an important story for you to tell?
Well, it was a story completely about an anthology. Each author, 30 authors, wanted to tell their story. And what it wanted to be was the most significant thing that happened in your life. What was the pivotal change? And the author came from Talisha Berry. She was the one that actually compiled the story together. And what happened was she wanted to show a depiction of black men in a positive manner, not in a bad manner. What kind of things did we overcome and how significant it would be? So that's why that story is in the book.
Okay, cool. I can't wait to read it, man. I can't wait to check it out. You mentioned earlier that your grandmother was a published author.
Yeah.
You want to give her a shout out? What was her name?
She passed away.
Well, okay. Rest in peace.
No, but Evelyn Nero, she was my grandmother. She was the one that actually got me into track and field. She was the one that kept encouraging me to run. But the thing is, she was always one of my best, my biggest fans. But my mother was the one that inspired me for this. This was the project that she takes credit for. And I actually dedicated the book in her name.
That's awesome, man.
So, Mom, I'll give you a shout out.
Shout out to Mom.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anybody out there watching who just maybe needs some inspiration right now?
I mean, the biggest inspiration, tell your story. Can't nobody take your story away from you. And people always say, well, be your authentic self. And when you write your story, that's the most authentic thing you'll ever be, is telling your story. And when people can't judge your story, people say, well, it didn't sound right. It doesn't matter. It's your story. And once you get your story out, then you have a relief that's off your back. You don't feel the pressure anymore of, will it work? How will it work? Is it going to work? You just tell your story. And that's all I wanted. I had no idea the book was going to become #1. I didn't go into it for that reason. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, you just got blessed then. That's what it was.
Yes.
Is there anything that you want to talk about that we didn't touch on tonight?
One thing I wanted to talk about the Heart of a Black Man was pretty much the situation that went down during that time. I'm gonna give a snip. We call it a cheat sheet. You know? And what I wanted to talk about was the book is inspirational. The book is a lot of what you call. You just wanted to do it. You know what I'm saying? And couldn't nobody turn me away from that. And once I set my mind to do it, I was going to do it. You know, so that's kind of like what the situation went about that. And one thing about it is the other authors that are in here, I want to give them also a shout out to the 29 other authors that told their story as well. Yeah.
Shout out to them, definitely. So you mentioned okay, there's 29 different authors in the book.
Right.
What specifically was your topic that you spoke on?
Mine was choices, making choices. And just to get a real snippet about my situation, whereas I was discovered in track and field in gym class. You know, I was just fast, you know, and people said, well, we think you should run track. And what happened was I was still in a strategic inflection point because I still ain't made the right decisions. And I was still hanging with my friends. We were still doing wild stuff, you know. And make a long story short, I got in a lot of trouble for a situation that I was involved in. Almost kicked out of school, you know. Shout out to my head coach. Shout out to my assistant principal, which they actually vouched for me and went before the Board of Education. And after that, I actually won. I went undefeated. That's that track season.
That's what's
so
up.
That's kind of like, and it's a little bit more in between, little spices in between that kind of like leads up to that and what was going on during that time. But there's like spices about that. But the funny thing is, a lot of friends that I went to school with remember that situation, and they said, "I want an autographed book. When you get the book, I want an autograph." And one of the guys that was in the book, I sent it to him, you know, and he bought the book and he read it to his wife. He said, "Yo, man, it was an easy read. It was about as authentic as it can be. Man, I appreciate you doing that." But I gave all ghost names in the character, so nobody actually had their real names in the character for a couple people. On the positive note, those are the ones that I gave names to.
Awesome, man. I love to see it, man. I love when you talk about being your authentic self and telling your story, because you're an author. I'm actually a rapper, and that's important to me, is to tell my story and not try to fit in with anybody else. Now, you say you're a coach, track and field coach at Newberry?
Newberry College, track and field. This is my first year back. Was my second season coming up. This will be my second season getting ready for that. And pretty much my goals this year is take kids from no names to national qualifiers to national champions. That's pretty much what we're doing. So we're going after a championship this year.
Hey, I hope for nothing but the best for you, sir.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate you. Y'all make sure y'all check out The Heart of a Black Man. When is it available? It's available.
It's available now. Actually, you can go on my Instagram, Coach DUUB, Anthony Washington, with Anthony Coach DUUB, DUUB, and you can actually contact me, and I can give you my Zelle, and actually you can order the book that way.
All right, awesome, man. It was a pleasure having you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Y'all give it up for author Coach Anthony Washington.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
And after races, dead white men stack my money up, tall enough to touch a ceiling fan, blow it all on alcohol and studio sessions. In the kitchen cooking for my bitch and her best friend. I was trying to get a popping, but he never did. I don't go outside, I don't stayed till I Earl, smoke a joint and watch the Simpsons. Big dog hopping off the porch, got him pissed off. It's lit now, popping or whatever your favorite synonym. Forgetting money is still dressed